you guys, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I'm Robin, and I just had a couple things I wanted to come on here to say. First of all, if you didn't see the community notes, we're just fine. We were on the east coast of Florida. I have a little footage, I'll put it at the very end of this, that I just took with my phone. Had a papaya snap. Well, it started to uproot, and then we tied it off. We staked it in the ground, and then Jack came back in when he was done fixing the dryer, and he tied it to the 4x4s, which I thought was maybe a bad idea because the papaya is pretty strong. I didn't want to snap the 4x4. And then back there behind me is the top, because I ended up going ahead and, can you see that back there? I ended up going ahead and, after the storm was completely over, just well, it snapped itself, and then I went ahead and cut it. But, well, part of it. You'll see all that in the video at the very end. But I wanted to definitely reach out and say my thoughts and prayers are with you guys. Across the whole southeastern United States, for sure. I spent a couple days just kind of grieving and crying for the west coast of Florida, up in the Panhandle. You know, some of my favorite YouTubers are in South Georgia, and thoughts and prayers go out to them. I know they had trees down, lost power. Nobody has cell phone towers anymore. I know how that feels, because we have a cell phone tower up the road, and we lost it during, I think it was Hurricane Matthew about 5-6 years ago. We had a Cat 4 go by the coast. We had a couple different years, but anyhow, that one knocked out our tower. So, you know, when you can't respond to people, that's just, it's hard. But now we have Starlink, so that's better. The other thing is, there's a safe site that you can go. I guess you could go to American Red Cross, but sendrelief.org is a wonderful organization, and they are not only taking money, but they're putting teams together in certain locations up the path of where Helene was, and they are putting together teams of people who can feed others, people who can cook for others, people who can use a chainsaw or have heavy equipment. So there's all that going on, and I'm really thankful and grateful to see other people being able to do that, the physical heavy labor and lifting, and of course we're going to need plenty of that. Some of our favorite towns, Crystal River and Cedar Key, Perry, they all were destroyed or underwater. So that storm surge was ridiculous. Oh, Bradenton, I spent my childhood in Bradenton a lot. So, you know, our hearts really were heavy the past few days and busy watching the TV. Okay, now with that said, let's turn to something completely different. But it's also current events, and I really just don't do current events, but I feel that this one kind of pertains to homesteading and being a little self-sufficient and having a garden ready, or chickens. Ooh, I found some shade with the grapevines. But anyhow, some of these grapevines are putting down, this is not having to do with the video, but the grapevines are putting down long roots, and I'm running into them. Pardon me for the, I'm having post-hurricane asthma, and that happens anytime the mold spores really get thrown around, and then it's up to me to live on an inhaler or be prepared in other ways, drink a lot of teas, and keep cough drops ready for my throat. Get this. But anyhow, what I want to come to you guys and say is that I hope you already know, but if you don't, that there's going to be a strike of port workers in the United States. I think mostly up the East Coast, from what I saw the graphic of. And if you're in Florida like me, some of your strikers are going to be at the Jacksonville port. Some are going to be at the Miami port and Tampa port. Now, with all that said, They did put a graphics card list of, good, we got shade for a second, of different things that are affected. Where did I put that card? Okay, I found the card. So things like clothing, footwear, and cars will be affected coming into the ports. I guess the cruise ships and the military will still get their needs met. But I found it really interesting about foreign fruits, quote unquote. But if you're in Florida, these are not foreign to you and me. Pineapples. I have a whole pineapple pit here, okay? Bananas. We were just walking in front of all the bananas, right? Citrus, which is coming up on citrus season here in Florida, as far as them becoming ripe. Grapes. I think grapes mostly ended in June, some in July, depending on your muscadine or regular grape varieties. And eggs. So that's why I wanted to be over here in front of the chicken coop. You know, and coffee and meat. We'll talk about those in a second. So, y'all, I don't have to worry about eggs. I've prepared myself and planned a chicken coop years ago. I think when they first opened it up in Brevard County. And, you know, I have chickens. And so I will have eggs. Now they are decreased because it's molting season. But I'm still getting about 2 or 3 eggs daily. But anyhow, I want to encourage you guys, if you have the means to do so, to get your chickens, get some coops. I hate to say big store names, but I know Tractor Supply has pre-made coops. You can go on marketplaces, Craigslist, eBay, whatever. Find yourself a used coop. Recently, I was offered a used coop, but I didn't need it because we just put up the new coop. So there's that. If you can just get yourself like a few chickens, or whatever your city ordinance allows for. And then if you don't, the other option that I have had a friend do was that, if you have a friend that has the ability to have chickens, make a deal with them. Go ahead and, perhaps put a few chickens in their coop. You pay for some bags of feed and then you get some eggs in return. That's always a possibility. The other thing I wanted to mention is hopefully you guys, if you're Floridians, you already have your pineapples and banana trees in. I have bananas right behind me. We just actually got a rack of the Grand Nains. So I think the next one is either more Grand Nains or the Namois. I also have a rack on the Dwarf Cavendish. But if fresh isn't an option for you, when I did have my racks come off, we put away bananas and froze them. That is something you can do to be prepared for things like port strikes or disruptions in the food chain. That's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's when, because as we all learned during the pandemic, those food chains are very fragile and things can happen. And I don't want to be doomsday or anything, but it's smart to put up some food that you've grown in your own garden. Look, I just want to show these off before. Look, I'm starting to get asparagus seeds right here. I was going to pull that one. Maybe I won't pull it yet. I'll pull that tonight. So I have a lot of that in the house. Coffee, it's kind of weird. I buy coffee when it's on sale. And then, I don't know if you know this, but you can just freeze it. And that's a special, trick that I have. I buy coffee like every 6 weeks or longer. So I think they said like this strike could affect us up to 2 months because it may not be noticeable right away. Stores have been knowing that the strike was going to happen, so I'm sure they're been keeping their inventory up. But if not, just put some back in the freezer. Buy some extra this week or whenever you get paid. Do that. Look at this. I wanted to show you citrus was on that list. And my limes, no, excuse me, my Meyer lemon is just starting to turn. This is a baby Meyer lemon. No, that's a Persian lime. I have Persian limes all in here. Let me show you. Yeah, look. We have all sorts of limes in here, here, and here. So it really pays to have a little bit of your game plan already going. But if not, you know, like I lost my Meyer lemon trying to transplant it in this early spring. I went to a nursery not too far from here, less than 30 minutes, I think. And I went ahead and I bought a baby, the one you just saw me hold the Meyer lemon. I bought one of their babies for $30. It was loaded with blooms and fruit already on it. Popped it in the ground. Those continue. It dropped some of it, but you know, it continued to grow. And now I have stuff for when citrus, you know, becomes harder to find. So it probably won't be if you're in Florida, but it could be. You know, that's the thing about being prepared. You don't know what could happen, but you don't want it to freak you out. You don't want to be upset, you know, or whatever could happen, but you really just don't want to have these hiccups affect you. Okay, the other thing, there's more bananas. I wanted to show you that. And I just noticed this morning, I have a rack just starting to come out of this one right here. Whew, I'll show you a very baby rack coming. There it is. Oh, that's beautiful. So I don't think I'm going to be out of bananas anytime soon. Also, while we're here, look, that's where the papaya snapped. And I didn't care if it snapped because a lot of times they'll regrow, but I was mostly worried about it going into the pool, which we were able to avoid that. Okay, so the other thing is meats. Y'all know you can buy large packs of meats. Sorry, that's a ringtone I have. You can buy large packs of meats and, you know, break it down and freeze it back with either, you know, little storage bags. And if you have a food vacuum packer, you can always break that down and put it in a deep freeze or something then too. So I usually shop for meats about once a month. You know, there's always things we pick up in between, but I do the bulk of my meats shopping about once a month. Shoot, we just ate a pork shoulder from, I think I bought it after Thanksgiving when they had sales, and it was like they were just trying to unload, or maybe after Christmas, but they were unloading meat for like half the price of what it was before the holiday. So we talked about the citrus grapes. I don't have any pineapples now. Oh, but I have, there goes somebody with the zooms. You're not supposed to be zooming around. The vet said no. How can you tell boxer no? So anyhow, I have a great video. I'll link it at the end of this where we have preserved our pineapples. We can pineapples. So I always have a fresh supply of pineapples. This past year I only ate them fresh, and so I didn't can this year, but I have multiple years worth of pineapples in my pantry. So let's see, I think that's just about covers it. Cicadas are bad, the heat's bad. It feels like a sauna bath out here. So I just wanted to jump on, tell you guys about that. Be aware, and if it catches you off guard, you know, just buy what you need now. But it's something to think about as you plan your garden space and design a, you know, food forest or whatever. There are all sorts of things you can do to make life a little bit easier for yourself in case we have these little disruptions in the food chain or strikes or whatever. You know, everybody's feeling inflation, and I'm sure those people want to get paid extra. I don't know what the strike's about. I'm not here to play any sort of politics or sway you on anything. But I just want to let you know, on the homestead end of it, you can be being proactive about things. Now the strike starts tomorrow on the 1st, but you may not feel the effects for a week. Well, definitely not the first week, he said. Might take a couple weeks, it might take a month, it might be 2 months before everything is settled. So be smart about that, and you know, just take care of yourself and your family and do the best you can. All right, I just want to encourage you guys, and I want to say that our heartfelt prayers go out to everybody affected by the storms, and many of you have checked in. I'm glad to hear from you, and I wish you well. You guys take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh no, my little plant, my little tree. Oh no. I think my papayas are getting ready to take a dump. I'm gonna have to go dump. That sounds bad. I think they're about to fall over. I think I'm gonna, and this one just went over a few hours ago. I did the best I could. I drove down a stake. It's only about a foot to a foot and a half into the ground, and I put 2 ropes on this tree, and they're really the same tree. They break off at the bottom. They're like twins of the same root system. And then I put 1 rope on the other. So I'm hoping that holds my papaya in place. I don't care if the papaya falls. That's not my problem. My problem is that the papaya is headed towards the pool. And I don't know if y'all can see that angle, but it would hit right there on the, see right that part? Would hit right there in the angle of the pool. And that would be really bad. So I'm just hoping, oh, I don't know. That's a pretty good gust right there. Maybe we should just chop it. Just save property. It's just a papaya tree, right?